Our personal experiences not only have the power to refine us into the persons we were created to be, but our personal experiences also have the potential to impact and change the lives of others. Many people believe that there is nothing much they can contribute to this world. They struggle to find the value attached to their mere existence. However, truth be told, every day, every hour, every minute, every second we are alive is fabricated into each chapter of our life's journey. Woven into each of our stories are experiences beyond our control, seasons of celebrations, new beginnings, necessary endings, and life-changing lessons. In this season, I'll be speaking with persons from the realms of education, love, faith, business, and relationship to dive into how they have turned their challenges and experiences into refining moments. Welcome to the Her Reigning Journey podcast, where our conversations enrich, encourage, and empower others. I'm your host, Katharina Carbon. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Her Reigning Journey podcast. Today with us, we have Miss Priya Misir, Suriname-born, Guyanese-raised, whose way of expression is through her writing. Youth leader and mentor that worked in the health industry for 10 years and currently works as a program manager for the foster care program at K1 Britannia Foundation. Welcome, Priya, and thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me, Miss Carbon.
Sure, no problem. First question we'll ask you is, tell us something about yourself that's interesting that no one else does really know.
Let me see. There's several, but I would say I am not a morning person.
Okay.
I may look so on the outside, but I'm not a morning person. Yeah, so if you're looking for me to be productive in the morning, that doesn't work. In the night, I'm up.
I'm a witness of that, Priya. I'm definitely a witness of that. I'm like, while my eyes begins to like close down and get heavy, here is Priya and she's going, tick,
Yes.
tick, 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 tick.
Yep, that's when my brain is up and running.
Okay, awesome. And why are you so passionate about working with the foster children? What does it mean to you?
Honestly, growing up, you would always find me around my little baby cousins, playing with them, having fun with them. And I remember one day, my mom was, I think I should adopt a child. So we went to a foster home and we were just looking around. We went to visit.
Okay.
And I was like, when I was there, it was during Christmas time, and I saw like a group came in and they were giving the kids gifts and the smile on their faces. I turned to my mom and I said, this is something I definitely saw myself doing, and I think I was about probably 9 years old.
Okay.
And, little did I know that I was actually speaking life into, the future. But, the experience, the way that I felt there and then, it's a feeling that, you just can't add words to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you think one day you'd like to adopt kids?
Yeah, definitely.
How many?
Boy, I have to be careful how I say this on camera. Because, let's, maybe one or two.
Okay.
One or two. But my mom always wanted to do it, but that never happened. So yeah, I think I will in the future. Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty cool. And I do admire you for wanting to do that because, there are so many children out there that would, love just to be a part of a permanent home, be loved, be cared for. So I'm looking forward, Priya, one day to seeing you make that move. I think you'll be good at it too as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And when were you a child? Did you always dream about working with foster children?
Not foster kids, but just kids as a whole.
Okay.
When you You know, growing up, I'm pretty sure most of us have a list of what we want to do or become. Not astronauts, doctors. And I think a couple of months ago, I came across a book. I think I was 8 years old, and I wrote in the book that I want to work with kids.
Okay.
But it wasn't specifically foster kids, but I just love the way I felt when I'm in the presence of kids.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
Oh, wow. So is there like an age range per se that you probably would prefer more to work with?
To be honest, no,
Okay.
no.
So at any age.
Yeah, at any age, at any age. I mean, in the beginning, it was more like, you know, the ones that you can tell stop doing this and they listen.
Yeah.
But
That's the easy one.
yeah, you know, but being in the field, working with foster kids,
Yeah.
it has really taught me different ways on how to deal with the different ages, you know, and it's a great feeling.
Yeah.
So no, there is no age that I would prefer to see.
Okay. And what is one of the ways that you have learned, you know, between the different ages? What is one of the ways that you have learned to work with them?
Well, the younger ones, definitely. Basically, just be silly, you know, and you get them to open up to you because, I mean, foster kids, and sometimes people tend to mix foster kids with orphans up because it's similar but yet different.
Okay.
Foster kids are more kids that are like under like came from abusive families.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily that they don't have parents, but they just can't be with them because of neglect or
reasons, yeah.
abuse. So sometimes they're traumatized.
Yeah.
And you might think, but what does a 4-year-old, 5-year-old know about trauma?
Yes.
But it exists. And it takes them some time to open up to you, you know, and dealing with, let's say, kids between the ages of 2 to 6.
Yeah.
Trust me, it really does take time. Like you have to be that constant face in front of them. And then once they get accustomed and they see like this is someone that I can trust,
Yeah.
then eventually they adapt to you. Now, let's say 7 to 13. Yeah, they're easy. You know, you sit and just listen to them speak. And teenagers now,
Yeah.
they need a listening ear now. That one takes a longer time.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
It takes a longer time. But I think with them, it's just a matter of being a listening ear. It's not so much talking, but just being a listening ear to them.
Great. And what is one thing in your past that has shaped and molded you to who you are today or who you desire to be?
Well, I would definitely say the day I came across a book called Personality Plus.
Oh, and tell us about this book.
Now, it was, let's see, probably 7 or 8 years ago.
Okay.
I remember I was driving with my youth leader.
Okay.
And I was sitting with a friend in the back, and she was like, you guys should try this test. And she
Yeah.
went upstairs and she photocopied a page for us to do a test.
Okay.
So we did it. And when I finished doing the test, my personality trait was melancholy.
Okay.
So when I start to read up of like the characteristic of a melancholic person, I was like, damn, that is me. I was like, I wouldn't even date myself. I wouldn't even date myself. I was like, no, this is not me. But, you know, for like people who are familiar with the personality, like a melancholy person, they always see the negative before they see the positive.
Yeah.
They're moody.
I was just gonna say that same
You
thing.
know, like very, very moody. Like they
Yes.
would have 5 mood in 1 second. And I'm like, this is what people had to deal with? I felt bad for the people around me. But it really, the book became a mirror to me.
Wow. Yeah.
And I bought the book and I started reading on what the weaknesses are of a melancholy person.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know something? I said, I need to work on me.
Yes.
Like, I really need to work on me.
Yeah.
And I did. And more as I like read about the weaknesses, I tried to turn them into strength.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll be honest, it has been a life-changing journey after I read that book because it really allowed me to put the mirror in front of my face. It really did. And I became more bold. Like, people would tell me I'm moody, but I just never accepted it. And after I learned to deal with it, I go back to some of them, and I used to be like, I was really that moody. And they were like, Pri, like, we would leave you now, and just one person have to get me upset.
Yeah.
And I'm upset with the rest of the world.
Wow.
You know, and I'm like, I really felt bad for the people around me. But probably a good bit of them are probably gonna watch this. So hey, I've come a far
At
way.
least you know now, and you admitting. The first step is
Yeah.
admitting, and I think one of the things is so important is that we get to know ourselves, because we're gonna be interacting with various different people on a daily basis, regardless of our profession or the things that we do. We're gonna run into people, so
sure.
it helps us along our journey to be aware of who we are. And one of the things is really and truly admitting and say, okay, this is an area that I'm weak in and I need to work on it. And there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of times when I guess people go to job interviews and different things, and they may tend to ask the question, so what is your weakness? People might be like, oh, I don't have a weakness. That is not really true,
Correct,
And
yeah.
it's like we all have something within us that if we take
do.
the time to learn, it's gonna help us in terms of how we deal with people, and
For sure.
just to know and be aware of who we are. At the end of the day is who we are, and it's like, hey, I'm a work in progress.
Correct.
I'm a work
yeah.
in progress, because we all are, and we all have just one little something that we need to work on here and there.
We do, for sure, for sure.
Wow. So after that book, Priya, you were able to take your trait and be able to apply it and say, well, hey, you know what? If I see this coming on within me, then I'm probably going to try do X, Y, Z to kind of like counter it per se.
Correct, yes. And to be honest, it also helped me to deal with people differently, because
Yes.
there is 3 more other personalities as well too. And of course, I didn't read only about me, but when I read the others, it really, you understand
Yeah.
why people act the way they act, and
Correct.
it just allows you to deal with them accordingly.
Yes.
You know. And trust me, I've met a few melancholy people along the way, and I'm like, girl, I was there. I was there. But yeah, like, it really allows you to learn how to deal with the people, with
Different
individuals as
people.
well. Yeah, it does.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It
I
does.
remember also taking a similar test, back when I was completing grad school, and for me it actually helped me too as well, because there were certain things I was wondering, like, am I this? Am I that? And then, for example, seeing that I'm borderline introvert, extrovert. For me, growing up, I always said, you know what? I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert. I'm quiet. I keep to myself and stuff. And when I saw the result after taking that test, I sat and I'm like, really? And then after a while, there were other people I would, engage in and so forth. And they're like, you can talk a lot. You socialize a lot. You get around a lot.
I got you.
And I'm like, really? I was like, probably, it depends on the setting, or depends on the
Right.
people, or depends on the feel and different things. But then I do realize that there is still that predominance of introvertness, because once you see I get back home, it's like I need to be locked away, because I'm going to regain that energy and that strength I need when I'm alone and not around people. So,
got you, I understand.
people who are truly extroverted, they have to continuously like
Right.
be around people to get that thing. And I'm like, no, like I just need to be alone to get it back, to get
I
myself back
understand. Yeah,
together.
no, for sure.
And
For
as you said,
sure.
it does help in terms of how we move along and progress in life. It
Of
does
course,
help to be
it does.
aware,
It
of who
does.
we are. And tell us, I know you mentioned growing up, your mom and different things, but who are the three most influential people in your life, and how have they impacted you?
Ooh, 3.
Three. If you have three.
I have quite a bit, but now it's for me to choose 3. Why? Have to be wise, huh? Well, first off, I would definitely say my mother.
Okay.
And my mother have impacted my life in so many ways I don't think she herself was aware of,
Well, she's gonna know today.
you know? But growing up in a single parent home, my mom was, yeah, she was everything.
Yeah.
She was mom, she was dad, sister, brother. She was everything. And just see her work to give me a better life than she had, it was enough for me.
Wow.
You know, like the sacrifices
Yeah.
that I've seen her made. And, you know, like I can never forget one day she said to me, you know, Pri, when she left back home, when she left Guyana and she came to St. Martin, she was like, I felt abandoned because she's my everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, huh, so what's going to happen to me here? No, she said, you do know that every step that I make and every decision that I make is for you and to give you a better life. And, you know, it's like she encouraged me that when you get your kids, I want you to give them a better life than I
Yeah.
give to you. And, you know, she said, and as it go along, you keep encouraging the generation after generation to always want to do better,
Yeah.
you know? But yeah. My mother has impacted my life in a lot of ways, but that's just a few of the ways. Okay, the second person, and this is in no order.
Yeah, that's fine.
I would say, I don't want to say my other half because I'm a whole person,
True.
but I would say my purpose partner. And the reason I said purpose partner is because of how our relationship came about.
Okay.
And yeah, I just knew it was purpose, you know? And ever since he came into my life, it has changed like a lot. And in a positive way.
Good.
In any negative way, let me think.
Remember, he's gonna be watching this, so
But, let me think. Okay, let's say more positive than that. I'm just joking, but no. In a very positive way, you know?
Yeah.
One of the things he always encourages me and remind me of is to always be my authentic self, no matter what.
yeah.
Because I think all of us go through that phase where sometimes we question our identity. It doesn't matter how well you know yourself. There are times you reach that crossroad where you're like, should I this, should I that? Am I
Yeah.
this, am I that? But he has always been now one person who always remind me that whatever you do, be true to yourself,
Yeah.
you know, and be you. You know, it's like every time I not try to slip up, but every time I would like fall off track, he's always there to put me back on track, you know? And yeah, that's the second person.
I like the term that you use, purpose partner.
Yeah. Why? Yes. The third person would be ex-colleague, ex-colleague of mine.
Okay.
Well, for as many years I was on this island, which is what, 11 plus, she has always been that jar of positivity,
Oh.
you know, and sometimes there were times in my life I questioned if like she was human or angel because I've never, anytime I would go to her with an issue, she would always see the positive in anything that I do. Like she always points out the positive.
Yeah.
And when like I've encountered a few hiccups, setbacks, she was one of those person who was always there.
Nice.
And one thing I know, she prayed for me a lot. You know, she prayed for me a lot.
Yeah.
And it was more than her saying it. It was something I felt, you know?
Yeah.
She Yeah, just being in her presence impacted my life. Let's put it that way. Just being in her presence
You know, you
because
have some individuals like that. It's like
yeah,
presence without saying a word. Their presence speaks volume. And I think that is something that is admirable. And that is something
yeah,
I don't want to say everyone should have, but it's a very nice quality to have
of
because I
course.
feel like sometimes we don't always want to have a conversation. There are times where you just want to be around
Yeah,
someone that has that aura,
yeah,
that
yes,
that spirit, that brightness. And it's just, you know what, I just need to get into that person's presence.
yeah,
I don't have to say anything, and I know it would be
yeah,
okay.
yep.
Those type of
Yeah, no,
moments.
absolutely. I couldn't have said it any better. You definitely went all in on it. That is definitely how I feel.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I could be having a bad day and I just need to pass by her and I'm good.
yeah.
Yeah, her presence is, yeah. But those are the three persons.
Those are the three
Yeah.
persons. Good. So persons, Priya just mentioned you. And I would also ask you what is something along your journey that you would say you are proudest of so far?
Uh, I would say how far I've come without a father figure in my life.
Wow.
Yeah. Because the truth be told, when there's a lot of things that I would say happened in my life, and I blamed most of them on not having a father figure present in my life. But I don't remember when, but just one day I woke up and I made up my mind that I cannot allow this to dictate how my future is. You
Yeah.
know, it is just part of the process. You know, it was hard. It was hard, but to be honest, while it was hard, there wasn't so much of a void in my life because I had my Heavenly Father there. And yeah, I relied on him for everything, you know? And or let's put it this way, I've grown to
Yeah.
rely on him more because yes, there are times I would growing up, going to school, I would make up stories. Yeah, guys, I got out with my father later
Wow. So
because
you just tell your friends that so that you don't feel excluded
correct.
or different than. Okay.
Because my circle of friends, which I grew up with from we go to the same church,
Yeah.
we went from kindergarten all the way up. So they're pretty familiar and not majority of them, but I would say all of them,
Yeah.
they had a father figure.
Okay.
I was the only one and I was like, no, ain't no way feeling left out. And the thing is, you would never know because
Yeah.
the way I say it, you
Yeah.
would definitely think I going home to a father.
Yeah.
But then there was that void. And then after I gave my life to the Lord, that void was filled.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't easy because, you're talking to someone that is not
Present
there
there.
in
Yeah.
body.
Yeah.
But it was enough to bring me this far,
Wow.
and
Wow.
I know I shared this with a lot of my friends. I said I could have gone down a lot of different roads,
Yeah.
drugs, and other stuff
Yeah.
because of my surroundings and not necessarily family, but the environment as a whole that I grew up in and
Yeah.
not having a father figure and looking for love in the wrong place.
Places.
I could have ended up, but yeah, I didn't,
Yeah.
and honestly, yeah, that is definitely one of the things I'm proud of. And of course I didn't do it alone. I had a circle of friends and family that helped me through it.
Yeah.
But most of all, Daddy G was there. Like he was there.
Yeah.
Like he was there through it all, you know. And yeah, I am. When I look back of where I could have been,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm proud of where I am currently, you know.
Currently.
I am.
And you know, as you mentioned that, I go back to in the beginning where you said, you know, your mom was your everything. And it is so funny that you said, although your mom was your everything, I would like to tend to believe that, you know, she also had that role that she had to try to be father and mom, because I don't think a mom could actually be a father, because
No.
there are certain qualities that is expected from the man to
Correct.
be there. And although you looked at her as being your everything, you still had that certain void. You still went
Yeah.
ahead and tell your friends that, hey, you know, you're going home to your dad to just make it seem that way.
Correct.
So you still miss having that figure around. So
Yeah,
for
for
me, it
sure.
actually shows that it's important to have the both present.
Of course.
That is so important to have the both present. Oftentimes, you know, persons may say, yes, you know, their father, mother, this and this, but really and truly the qualities that you really need of a male figure in your life at that point in time, a mom can't really feel it, you know, because
no.
God didn't design the mom to have everything within
Correct.
her. That is not God's initial design and
Correct.
initial purpose, you know. So just by you saying that, it is evident and proof. And I probably don't think that maybe that was something that you actually realized at that, you
I
know, from
didn't.
that perspective.
I didn't.
But it is actually proof that individuals need both. And I remember having a conversation with someone, and I was really enlightened by that, where this individual was in a home with both mother and father, and while they felt like the dad wasn't really living up to the expectation, she reminded me and she told me that one of her mentors said it was better to have him present than to not have him at all. Because when you look at the other ways that he failed in terms of, let's say, someone that provided, or someone that, you know, probably could have, if she probably could have gone to and have a conversation with. And you know, there were other little areas that were missing and lacking. But her mentor was actually telling her, imagine if you didn't have him around
Yeah.
at all. It could have been worse. Could have been a different way. But at least you had someone around that had some positivity
Correct. Yeah.
to share. So it wasn't like you didn't have, you know. So it's a very interesting topic and an interesting
is.
way, you know,
It
to
is.
look at things.
It is.
But no, I'm happy that Daddy God was able to fill that void. And you know, I had a dad growing up, so I had both Heavenly Father and dad. So I can't pretend to say, well, hey, you know what, I know exactly what you mean, but I do know what it means to have a Heavenly Father. You know,
sure,
because
yeah.
there are certain things that your earthly father can do which are finite and limited, but then when it comes to your Heavenly Father,
Yeah.
he's limitless.
But that's it. That's it.
And how has your life been different from what you imagined it to be?
Boy. Well. Well, first of all, I didn't imagine myself being here in St. Martin.
Okay.
That was nowhere in my imagination. You know, I thought I probably would have been back home, a little grandkid that grew up with her grandparents, maybe being an accountant,
Yeah.
I think. But I didn't imagine my life like being here. Coming to St. Martin changed my life.
Wow.
Completely. Like completely. It changed my life.
No mistake of you being here, just so you know.
Yeah. Bye. Yeah. It purpose have me here.
Exactly.
Purpose have me here. And yeah. I would say St. Martin. Because
Yeah.
you know, like my life I began to live when I came here. Let's put it that way.
Nice.
You know, I began to live when I came here. So yeah.
sometimes we have this picture of how we think our life is supposed to be, but then as you said, purpose. When we allow purpose to happen and take control, it literally spins our life
Oh,
in a
yes.
different avenue. And it's all to the
Yes.
glory and honor of God.
Yep.
Because, God knows, maybe you might be here for the rest of your life, or maybe God might uproot you and take you to another place. But I don't believe that anything is like by accident or unintentional, because God knows where you would be
Oh, yeah, for
at a
sure.
certain point in time and
For
a certain
sure.
point in life. And he uses everything to the honor and glory of him.
Right? Yeah.
Even
Yeah,
though
I know,
sometimes
for
it's like, man,
sure.
God, I feel like I'm stuck here. I shouldn't be here. And we wrestle with it and we wrestle with it. If we just tend to rest and, of course, seek Him for guidance
Yeah.
and be like, okay, God, maybe I'm here a little too long because I wasn't really listening to your voice. But the fact is, I still know that although I have been in this spot longer than you intended for me to be, at the end of the day, you're still going to get the glory. It's still going to be attached to my purpose,
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. For sure.
And what would you say is giving you hope right now?
My purpose.
Your purpose.
Yes.
How did I have a feeling she would say
Yes,
that?
my purpose. I definitely my purpose. A couple of months, probably a year back, I remember I was sharing with someone how frustrated I was that I
Yeah.
didn't know what my purpose was. And I remember the individual saying to me, "Do you remember how old Jesus was when he started walking in his purpose?"
Yes.
And I was like, does that mean that's how long I have to wait? But it was like, to be honest, that's not what I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. But it's the truth, though.
it is the truth. But the human that you're is like, this is
Yeah,
not what I
yeah.
want to hear right now. But honestly, it allowed me to appreciate where I was then because, like Pastor Mike would say, the here prepares you for there.
Oh, yes. I'm loving that series.
So, yeah. So I took a step back instead of like focusing, like really search for it. I just asked the Lord to prepare me, for it.
Yeah.
And when I figured out what it was, I was like, oh. And then I started to scan my life all the way back. And everything, everything that that I've been through.
Yeah.
The victories, the hiccups, crossroads, everything have prepared me for that moment. Like, I couldn't have imagined reaching that place of being, like, my purpose being revealed to me and taking out any aspect of it. And I was like, boy, God just have it all planned out,
Yeah.
But honestly, like, when I've always been someone who liked community work.
Yeah.
And the thought growing up was I had to be rich to be community minded because to do things in a community because it needs money.
Yeah.
And so I always pray to the Lord to be rich. And I'm like, if I can get money, I can do this. But I'm not rich yet, but I am doing stuff in the community, and when
You're rich in many other ways than
Yes,
just financially wise.
correct. Thank you. Yes, for sure. But yeah, I would definitely say my purpose. Definitely.
It gives you something to look forward to every day that you wake up.
Every day.
It's like knowing, God, I have breath to do this. I was designed, I was created to do this. I find fulfillment in this. I find joy in
Yes.
doing this. I could understand why
Yes.
you would say that would give you hope. Because then you
For
know
sure.
you're not here by accident. You know that nothing happens by accident,
Correct, yeah.
and that everything is connected and everything is aligned, and you look forward to
course.
seeing how that how shall I say it, how that joy that you have would continue to grow more as you continue to go deeper
For sure. Yeah.
in as you continue to go deeper in exploring that innate, how shall I say it? That how shall I describe it? That bubbliness. You look forward to
Of course.
seeing
Yeah.
how much further it can go. Like
Yeah.
how far can it go? Because when you understand the vastness of God and his creation and purpose, it's like, okay, God, if this is just a sliver, if this is just a glimpse, if this is just like this, then here,
Yes.
connected back to the sermons, if here right now is just this glimpse and this, just a little small piece that
Yeah.
you're showing me, and I'm that bubbly about it, what would happen when I get
There.
there?
Oh.
So
I'm
yeah.
telling you, you saying that just getting me excited here.
And what are some mistakes you have made, and what lessons have you learned from those mistakes?
Boy. A lot. But I'll probably just give one or two
Some.
or some. I would say one of the biggest mistake that I've made was allowing people to define me and walking in the shadow of those same people. That has definitely been one of the biggest mistakes, because when you're struggling with your identity, you kind of look for a clutch, or you're looking for your identity.
Yeah.
And if you're not surrounded by the right people, then you end up walking in their identity and not yours. And I must say, like, when you're walking in it, you can become blind to it, and you just don't see it. And even if you have folks on the outside saying, hey, this is not you, you're so deep in it that
Because you want
Yeah,
that sense of worth, of
Correct.
knowing your why.
yes, yes. And honestly, it has cost me a lot. It has cost me my joy, and it made me lose some genuine friends along the way, because
Wow.
you, like I said, you're walking in someone else's identity, and it wasn't in a positive way, but I learned from it.
Yeah.
I learned from it,
So there's no waste there at all. There's no
No,
waste.
not at all. I always say, you make a mistake in everything we go through. There's always an object lesson. It took me a while to get there, but in everything, there's always an object lesson. It really took me some years.
Yeah.
It took me most of my years on the island. Let's put it that way. But yeah, I learned from it. And that's why I became very, I don't want to say cautious, but I always seek wisdom before I consider someone part of my circle. Like, we can be friends, but
Yeah.
part of my circle,
Yeah.
because whatever you do affects me.
Yeah.
Whatever I do affects you.
Correct.
So I may have a lot of friends, but my circle
Yeah.
is, trust me, is wisdom that created that circle.
No, I understand. I understand.
Because I don't want to go down that road again.
Yeah.
I don't, but yeah.
No, I understand. And sometimes, the people that needs what they have to get from you, it's like when you think about your identity and different things, like, man, I am robbing that person of that genuine person of who I am.
Yeah.
For them to be able to get what they need to get from me. Like, really, really me, and not from that other person. Because
Correct.
they're already getting it from that other person.
Yeah.
But then it's like, okay, what does Priya bring to this world? What does Priya bring to the table?
Correct.
And in terms of them not being able to receive that, grab hold of that, it's almost like they are being robbed of what you're supposed to send forth into the earth.
Yeah. No, for sure. And I do believe as well, I mean, at the end of the day, whatever happens, God's will always prevail.
Amen.
But I must say, though, it's things like that sometimes that gives us a little setback sometimes because, you know, I don't think you can know your purpose without walking in your identity. And every day you're learning something new about yourself.
Yourself.
Huh?
Oh yes.
Every day.
That's a joy. That's a joy.
Yeah, every day. It's like, I didn't know this, you know?
Yeah.
Every day. But to get to that place of walking in your purpose, you have to have a solid foundation of what your identity is. Because your purpose, that's exactly what it is. Your purpose. And you cannot walk in your purpose with somebody else's identity. So I think, like, when I think back about it, I'm like, I really caused myself unnecessary frustration, but it was worth it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it was worth it. Lesson learned.
Yeah.
Lesson learned. 101. Lesson learned. But yeah.
I love it. I love it. You cannot walk in your purpose. You cannot operate in your purpose in someone else's identity.
No.
Well said. Well said. And before we leave here today, Priya, what is one word of advice and encouragement that you would give to someone or a youth? Because we know that you deal with the youth and the younger people. What advice would you give to them?
Well, I would say to those that are watching and my little ones, I would say that your history does not determine your destiny. It is part of the process.
Yes.
You know, and whether you be a child without a father or a mother or neither, as easy as it sounds, just know that it is part of the process. But it doesn't determine your destiny. It doesn't determine your destiny. I think we were all born and brought on this earth for a purpose and to be great.
Yes.
But we have to make that choice. So you got to make that choice.
Yes.
We can't make it for you, but you got to make that choice to be great.
Well said. Well said. Once again, Priya, thank you so much for taking the time out to be here with us today. I know that there is something someone or everyone listening can be able to take from it and grab hold of it and ponder on it and, you know, apply it to their life as well. So once again, we want to say thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you once again for having me.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. We hope that you're encouraged and inspired to do what it takes to ensure that you reign on your journey. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, be blessed.